Hi friends, NaMuMyoHoRenGeKyo. I just finished a video on the beginnings of the heritage of the ultimate law of life, or the process of life. It says written by Nichiren. And I finally, I think, have enough coffee in me to to do this justice. I got pretty excited. I may get excited again. Why fight it? So I'm going to continue where we left off. Next paragraph starts. Think of those 1,000 Buddhas extending their hands to all of Nichiren's disciples and lay supporters who chant NaMuMyoHoRenGeKyo, as melons or moonflowers extending their slender vines. My followers are now able to accept and uphold the Lotus Sutra because of the strong ties they formed with it in their past existences. What does that mean? This is always confounding to Westerners and Easterners, and I think in large measure because of the way it's translated. But the ties we've made from past existences. Okay, so first of all, I will reiterate. We live, we instantiate, our lives are a collection, not a collection, a moment-to-moment experience of this freight train of karma instantiating. Right? Brit that, moment to moment, moment to moment. So, what does that mean? It means that something has brought you to this practice. Curiosity, a seeking spirit, trying to find something of more profound meaning in your life, whatever it is that's brought you to this point. Is it not logical, rational to say that every cause that you've made, every formation, every cellular portion of yourself that has existed previous to this moment, the past existence, has led you to this one? I mean, duh. How'd you get here? Did you just appear right here in front of your phone and TV, whatever? You just look around and went, oh, look, here I am? No. Right? You passed through time and space. Whether you expanded it or contracted it, you moved through space, that fourth dimension. NaMuMyoHoRenGeKyo. So, when Nichiren says very colorfully that as you uphold through your practice of chanting NaMuMyoHoRenGeKyo, you have formed a relationship, a strong tie with your Buddha-ness from previous existence. It didn't just drop on you like a book from the ceiling and you thought, oh, NaMuMyoHoRenGeKyo. No, you've been doing that. You've been conditioning your experience of life through this opening, this door, this funnel to the entirety of its experience, right? They are certain to obtain the fruit of Buddhahood in the future moments. You're going to invoke your Buddha-ness. You're going to experience it. There's no doubt. The heritage of the lotus flower flows within the lives of those who never forsake it in any moment of the existence whatsoever. You need to live in the realization of NaMuMyoHoRenGeKyo, of the process of life. That is Buddha-ness. That's simple. Whether in the past, the present, or the future. But those who disbelieve and slander the Lotus Sutra, they'll immediately destroy all the seeds of Buddhahood in this world. Why would you do all of that effort like you and I are doing every day, chanting, reciting Gongyo, studying, going about our lives with the confidence, constantly calling to our Buddha-ness to make better choices, to influence those around us, to influence ourselves and our karmic engine toward joy, toward full expression, toward no limits, toward fearlessness, right? That's a life well lived. Why would we then say, screw it, this is too hard. Oh, I didn't expect that to happen. Well, you might quit. Worse yet, what he's identifying is those people who would quit and then say, you guys are a bunch of Yikes, really? You'll destroy anything you've gained. See, you can walk away with doubt. It's sorrowful. You'll not be in a good life condition. You may think you are for a while until it suddenly dawns on you. Oh, I'm right back where I was 5 years ago. Oh, I know what I need to do. Damn it. Right? And so you get back into it and your life changes very rapidly. And boy, you notice it then. I'm not suggesting you do this, but how many people have gone Titan and come back stronger than ever because they get it? But this isn't that person. This is a person who actively destroys any gains they made. And now for those people, it's going to be very difficult to get back on the horse, yeah? Because they cut themselves off from the potential to attain enlightenment, they do not share the heritage of the ultimate law of life and death, the process of life. They don't share in it because they're stuck in the past. They're no longer moving forward. Their life is progressing moment to moment to moment to moment, but their attitude, their intent, their experience of life, it's in the stuff. It's in the weeds. But in truth, that's no different than somebody who doesn't practice Buddhism at all. They're just negotiating the misery of their... They have high points in their karmic engine, right? But all of the negative, non-life affirming things, the potentials for harm or misery, pain, stress, nothing there is there to mitigate those. So they're expressed fully. That's samsara. It's no other place. It's not like you've somehow burned your existence. You're just choosing to live without enlightenment, and that's a hard life. Buddhism is a choice that says that life is an opportunity that you're missing. That very same life you can experience from an entirely different mindset, attitude. And whatever would normally preoccupy you to make you miserable or to make you stress out or worry, doesn't have to be that way. You can take that very same karma and you can make constructive decisions with it. You can make it instantiate completely differently. But it requires your effort. You got to be willing to make the effort. Otherwise, well, there you go. That's what that's saying. All disciples and lay supporters of Nichiren should chant NaMuMyoHoRenGeKyo with the spirit of many in body, but one in mind, right? Itai Doshin. Transcending all differences among themselves to become as inseparable as fish and the water in which they swim. This spiritual mental bond is the basis for the universal transmission of the ultimate law of life and death. Life and death. Again, we talked about life and death. Death not being in the sense of an end, but death being in the sense of a transmigratory moment, right? Birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. Are you born every nanosecond? What's the scientist's name? Planck moment, only to die in the next moment? No, that's an expression of, at a quantum level, how things instantiate from energy only to then transform again. Nothing is static. See, that's that Western idea of life and death, that it's a life. Oh, now you're a sticker, you're a thing, static, and now gone. Nothing exists like that. Everything is constantly flowing, manipulating, flux, right? So that's what birth, death, birth, death, birth, death means. Birth is a new instantiation of that same potential, and death is a sloughing off of whatever that was for that moment, as it then again reinstantiates, disappears, reinstantiates, right? Everything is a flow. Life is a momentum. A momentum of what? The process of potential instantiating. So we use the words birth, death, but really, those aren't good words to be using. Right? It's more like an in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out within the whole. Herein lies the true goal of Nichiren's propagation. When you are so united, even the great desire for widespread propagation can be fulfilled. But if any of Nichiren's disciples disrupts the unity of many in body but one in mind, they would be like warriors who destroy their own castle from within. Nichiren has been trying to awaken all the people of Japan to resolve in the Lotus Sutra, so that they too can share the heritage and attain Buddhahood. But instead, they have persecuted me in various ways and finally had me banished to this island. So he wrote this from Sado. You have followed Nichiren, however, and met with suffering as a result. It pains me deeply to think of your anguish. Gold can be neither burned by fire nor corroded or swept away by water, but iron is vulnerable to both. A worthy person is like gold, a fool like iron. You are like pure gold because you embrace the gold of the Lotus Sutra. The sutra states, quote, just as among all the mountains, Mount Sumeru is foremost, so this Lotus Sutra is likewise. It also states, quote, the good fortune you gain thereby cannot be burned by fire or washed away by water. It must be ties of karma from the distant past that have destined you to become my disciple, my student, at a time like this. Shakyamuni and many treasures certainly realized this truth. The sutra statement, quote, those persons who had heard the law dwelled here and there in various Buddha lands, constantly reborn in the company with their teachers. It cannot be false in any way. Right? That's just stating the obvious. If you're maintaining your resolve in Buddhahood, then don't you mentally retain your inspirations? That's what that says. How admirable that you have asked about the transmission of the ultimate law of life and death. I have never heard of anyone who has asked such a question. I have answered it in complete detail in this letter, so please take it deeply to heart. The important point is to carry out your practice confident that NaMuMyoHoRenGeKyo alone is the heritage that was transferred from Shakyamuni and many treasures to Bodhisattva superior practices, which, as we know, he identifies with that personage, yeah? The function of fire is to burn and give light. The function of water is to wash away filth. The winds blow away dust and breathe life into plants, animals, and human beings. The earth produces the grasses and trees, and heaven provides nourishing moisture. Heaven being the skies, yes? Why we need to use the word heaven, I don't know. The 5 characters of MyoHoRenGeKyo are also like that. See, we forget. MyoHoRenGeKyo is just a sound, a label, a reminder, an instantiation, an invocation of a process that's happening. When we chant NaMuMyoHoRenGeKyo, we recognize that process and we invoke it as part of our experience of life. The 5 characters of MyoHoRenGeKyo are also like that. They are the cluster of rewards brought by the bodhisattvas of the earth, you and I, disciples of the Buddha in his true identity. The Lotus Sutra says that bodhisattva superior practices will appear now in the latter day of the law to propagate this teaching. But has this happened? Whether or not bodhisattva superior practices has appeared in this world, Nichiren has already made a start in propagating this teaching. And remember, if you missed the point that he's making, the question by the person who sent him this question, this letter, obviously a samurai, was, and Nichiren is incredibly grateful for this. This samurai wasn't saying, how do I practice correctly? How do I, because that's what everyone asks. How do I chant about this? How do I do that? How do I know I'm doing this well? But this guy goes a step beyond. He says, how do I inspire others to do this? How do I transmit this amazing thing I'm experiencing to others? Right? And you can hear the subtext under that, right? We've all said it. How can I tell other people how to do this when I don't fully understand it myself? How can I tell other people how to do this without sounding like an idiot? How do I tell other people how to do this? Well, I can't find the words and I fumble around and I might drive them away. Right? We've all felt that. How the hell do I become a bodhisattva? And I've answered that. And Nichiren's answered it in this letter. Chant. That's all you need to do. Attain your enlightenment, and that will push this energy into your environment. Now, it will bring people into your environment that you had not expected. People you don't know, as well as people you know. Relax. It's your Buddha-ness doing it, not your fumbling around samsaric self that you have doubts about, no confidence in, and blah, blah, blah. Rely on your Buddha-ness. So what do you do when somebody asks about it? Chant with them. First thing you got to do to invite someone in to learn is open the frickin' door. Keep it simple. Just chant with them. Let them find their own path. They will ask, once that door is open, when they ask you a question, it will come from the right place. And your words, they may sound different from person to person. Don't worry about that. What's coming out of you after chanting together is what they need to hear from you. Have confidence in that. Just let it happen. I couldn't do this channel if I didn't believe that. Come on. Have you listened to several videos? Have you been here for a while? Yeah, I'm quite a package of information, huh? If I tried to script any of this, I'll say it this way, I'll say it that way, or some people might not like that. I won't put myself through that misery. I have complete confidence that my practice and yours, it will gel. We will connect. We will connect. Some of you will listen to this very video or podcast and take away from it things I hadn't even thought of, and that others, maybe sitting in the same room as you, will have completely different impressions of. That's okay, because we all have our own path to Buddha-ness. As long as our goal is the same, Itai Doshin, many in body, one in mind, Buddha-ness. Follow? So in closing, be resolved to summon forth the great power of a strong mind of determination and chant NaMuMyoHoRenGeKyo. That's the key. With the intent that your resolve will be steadfast and correct in the next moment. That you're projecting this enlightenment ahead of your freight train of karma. Never seek any other way to inherit the ultimate law of life and death, or this process to experience it fully. I'm saying it in different ways because I still don't like that word. And manifest it in your life. Manifest this awakening, this perception of the process in your moment-to-moment life. Only then will you realize that earthly desires are enlightenment, and that the sufferings of birth and death are nirvana. Even embracing the Lotus Sutra would be useless without the heritage of a strong mind of determination. I will go into particulars again on another occasion with my deep respect, Nichiren, the Stramana of Japan. So this is at a time on Sado Island when Nichiren's coming into his own. And he's sharing this with his closest samurai allies, who saved his butt on more than one occasion. Yeah, this was in 1272. Interesting. I hope you got something out of that. It was different, certainly different than the previous two we've read, right? Depends on who he's talking to. The next one, replied to the Honorable Saidenbo. That's a very personal one from a previous teacher who Nichiren was having a very difficult time convincing to let go of Nembutsu and take on the Lotus Sutra, certainly through Nichiren's perspective, So, well, I think that's, let me double check that I'm not misleading you there. Profound, notes, 1,000 Buddhas viewed. Yeah, Sarenbo was a highly educated priest to whom the shonen sent several important essays. Okay. Well, I put the background first on that one. How interesting. Bizarre. Well, I'll read it before we do our video on it. Just let me. Notes. I don't seem to have it. Ooh, the meanings of Myo from the opening of the Eyes Gosho. Fascinating. I put this book together a few years back because there were several things within Nichiren's writings that just stood out with discussions on the Daimoku, the characters, NaMuMyoHoRenGeKyo, why, how, so on and so forth. And so that's why the title, The Profound Meanings of the Daimoku. So I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's our Bodhisattva act to make the YouTube algorithms make this easier to locate for those who are looking for information, wanting to practice correctly, wanting more guidance. That's what this effort is for. That's what the website's for, the bookstore, the mandala store, right? All of it. Make use of it. Be kind to yourself. Keep your practice strong. NaMuMyoHoRenGeKyo. Deeply appreciate all of you and the patrons who support this channel with donations through Patreon or directly to PayPal. Amazed at your practice. Thank you so much. Keep it up. Keep your practice strong. Watch your health. Yeah. Be kind to yourself. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Myo.